What's up? So I'm finally done with making a beat project where you guys sent me those samples and I've done my best with them and I've finally got a finished product for you. I briefly explain all the things I've done with your samples and I managed to use all the samples except for one. But that wasn't actually my fault, it was this sample called Weird Bird. And unfortunately it was just corrupted when I downloaded it, so I couldn't use it. Other than that, I used every sample you sent me. I will first play you the original sample and then I'll show you how I used it on the beat. I won't play the full beat here, but you can listen to it on my channel soon. So the first sample I used was this chord progression, which is basically the basis of the whole beat, and the original sample sounds like this. And not much to it, I pitched it down a little bit and chopped it, but other than that it's basically the same thing. And that goes on throughout the beat. The second thing I used was this violin going through this major scale. And I just chopped and sampled and basically made the main lead out of that one. So here's the original sample. And here is my take on it. The next thing we got was like this weird soundscape with some deer and moose sounds and I don't know, like some animal things. Well, listen to yourself. And basically there would have been like really nice ad-lib sounds and a lot of elements that I could have used. But I just took this last part here and turned it into a lead melody with some auto-tune, and here's what I got. And I thought it was quite random, but actually worked really nicely, and I like the lead sound that I ended up with. The next one was this guitar solo thing, and here's the original sample. I actually took only a short bit out of the solo, but I do like how it sounds. So here's what I got. And not much to it, but it actually worked really nicely. Next thing was this bass effect, and that I used like a drop effect, and it sounds like this. So not much to it, but actually did use that one too. Next up is this other guitar thing, like really cool clip as well. Here's the original. And here is how I used it. Didn't do much, just chopped and pitched a few parts and that's it. Then there was this doorbell thing. Really simple. Just took the first bit and turned it into a lead sound, which goes like this. Really like that one too. It was nice atmospheric, simple lead melody. Then there was this funny dinosaur sound. That is used as a ad-lib or like sounds more like a percussion kind of thing on the beat. Then there was this sample with some homemade cider, I don't know how to pronounce that one, but this is the sample. And that one I just used like a background, it's like really simple. Next one is this scream. And here is the sampled version. I think I reversed it and did some work with it. Let's hear it out. Simple as that. And the next one was probably the hardest one. I didn't have like any clue how to use this one, but I did manage to use it. So here's the original one. And I actually turned it into a transition effect. I honestly think it worked really nicely and sounds like any other like transition effect. Then there was this sample made by Haamudani. He made this himself. Unfortunately, I had almost basically finished this beat when I cut it, but I did manage to fit it into the beat later and it sounds really, really dope. So here's his original sample. I had to chop it and pitch it quite a bit, but I do like what I got out of it. And I honestly like it. I was a tad afraid how I can like fit that type of melodic sample with some chords to this beat at this point when it's basically all done. But it worked out really, really well. Next one up was this bass sample. And it's honestly a really cool bass line, but what I did, I just sampled like one hit, but I just added that on the top of my sub bass or 808 bass. So here's the full bass line. And here is the sample on its own. So as you can hear, it's not much, but it does add some structure to the bass. Then there was this Mockingbird sample with several possibilities, but I actually turned this one too into a transition effect. So here's the sample. And here is the effect that I made out of it. Which actually turned out to be a really nice effect. Then there was this crow sample, just some crows making some noise. I didn't do much with it. Basically just took a really short bit out of it and use it as a ad-lib. Next one was yet another animal sample, so some random animal sounds again. I did take that moose sound and I took some like that thing. I guess it's some kind of a bird. Here's what they sound like. And the last sample here is someone hitting their keyboard. And it felt kinda obvious that I have to use this like a percussion rhythm loop or something. And here's what it sounds like. Worked really nicely, in my opinion. As a conclusion, I'd say I had fun doing this project and I appreciate everyone sending those samples. It was really nice to see what kind of things you would pick from the free sound, and I'm really happy that I was able to use every single sample you sent me. And I will upload the final beat in an hour or two, so hope you guys do enjoy that one, and please comment what you think of it.